Breaking news, breaking news. James chapter 5 is being fulfilled in part. Giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Kakwadash is going to be super quick. Anyway, this is notification sent to me from the, what is this, Odyssey page, which I don't even know if I should say AJ. I'll say AJ, because he was banned from a lot of platforms. So it says, don't burn down Bill's house, says AJ, InfoWars News. So you can watch it if you go to Odyssey, you can watch it. It's the AJ channel on Odyssey. It says here, Bill blank funded picnic grocery store burned to ground in Netherlands amid Dutch protests. So they know who, they identified the enemy, what's going on behind the scenes, and they're retaliating. It says online delivery only supermarket funded by Gates to the tune of 600 million goes up in flames. Like I said in one previous video, I did 4 videos in the last couple of hours. I said after the explosion at the Georgia Guidestones, all hell's been breaking loose. Well, before that, let's go to so-called July 4th, so-called Independence Day. That's when they officially opened up CERN. And CERN is just another way of saying opening Pandora's box. Or pandemonium. Pandemonium means all demons, if you look it up. Pandemonium. So all hell is breaking loose. Anyway, I said this is a fulfillment of James chapter 5, right? It's also a fulfillment of 2nd Ezra chapter 15. So let me just give you that James chapter 5. Bear me for a minute. Let me bring this over. Let me slide this over. If it tarry, wait for it. It shall not tarry, it shall surely come. Look up cui bono, an old classic Roman Latin phrase saying cui bono, who stands to gain? If anybody killed, if a wife, you know, if a husband dies and the wife runs to the insurance company, who's the first subject? Who stands to gain from this guy being put to death? Whether he was suicided, he was killed and made to look like he, you know, committed suicide or whatever. So you see the wife, you know, calling up a minute after he dies. She's calling insurance and her insurance company concerning the policy she put on her husband 2 weeks ago, and she stands to make whatever, $2 million, 500,000, whatever. And that's you know, when somebody's killed, let's say a woman is stabbed up 20, 25 times, 40 times, right then and there, you know, that's a crime of passion. So what do? Is she married? Yeah, they got divorced 2 weeks ago. And she took the kids. Does she have a boyfriend? No, she don't have a boyfriend. So they're not looking for a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend. They look for the boyfriend. They look for the husband. But they think that the detectives are looking at each other. I think we know who did it. And then they realize this guy, he flies back to Spain or goes to Mexico. Yeah, he's on a jet. Boom, just left. I think we got him. Get all the evidence. Get a search warrant for his house. Go into her house, see if his DNA is on her, and blase, blase. And then what they'll do is they'll bring the husband back for the death of the wife, or the wife back for the death of the husband. So what is applied here? Cui bono? Who stands to gain from this crime? Who stands to gain from these unexplained things happening in this country? When the Crown Vic came out, a lot of people lost money. There were a lot of businesses that had to close up and file bankruptcy. Very few came back. It destroyed most, if not, well, most of the middle class. So when everything is said and done, a year and a half later, who gained with the whole Crown Vic? Amazon, Bill, Elon, what's this? This is the so-called 5 super rich guy. They became rich. Everybody suffered. So guess what? Bill, I mentioned Bill. They stood to gain. You couldn't buy things at local mom and pop stores, but you can go to the big box stores. So people are putting, one and one together. So what they're doing is they're fighting fire with fire. So let me read the precept and I'm gonna close it. And the Christians, meanwhile, they don't know what the hell is going on. Oh, there's a video I put out. It was from one video I put up on my Odyssey of footage of inside the school at Uvalde, however you say it. And they actually showed, gunshots. The police come. There's about maybe 20 police officers. They were girded up, so to speak. But them shots were firing and they ran. They turned and ran. So the truth, they showed the so-called kid coming in with a long gun. Then he goes into one of the rooms and he starts blasting for more than an hour. So, people are starting to say, I don't know, something fishy about this whole thing. So let me read this. I read this a lot. Misuse of riches. Now you had the leader of Sri Lanka. He got all his money and he skipped town. Then they put another leader in there, which they're not accepting this guy because they're saying he's another puppet. So let me read it. It says, "Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." That's a misery, man. I'm pretty sure Mr. Gates is not going to get a good night's sleep. And he's going to wonder, what about his other ventures? And they're going to double up and triple up, the security now. Now the target is on their back. It says, if it tarry, wait for it. If it will not tarry, it will surely come. And this is when all you men that are part of the One West Israelites supposed to be on fire. There's supposed to be 1 million, 2 million camps out there. Hell is supposed to be being raised because this place is going down. But we know that there's certain One Westers that are on hiatus, that are not doing anything, that are not on fire. Give me a second. Please forgive me. So anyway, let's go into the scripture. It says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver cankered, your money system, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. So let's go back over here. Let's read again. Bill Gates funded picnic grocery store burned to ground in Netherlands amid Dutch protesters. Online delivery only supermarket founded by Gates or funded by Gates to the tune of $600 million goes up in flames. Eat your flesh. Where is it? And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Eat your flesh with fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers, meaning the middle class, the working class, who have reaped down your fields. Jake, the hardest part in slavery was being a field nigger. If you could be anything, you would want to be a house nigger, because you dress nice, you were clean, you were able to bathe every day. You ate the master's scraps, which is pretty good. And you loved the master. You loved the master more than the master loved himself. Malcolm X said that. And the field nigger hated the master. If the master got sick, they prayed that he dropped dead. So, and then Malcolm X said, I'm a field nigger. All right. It says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is, and Bill Gates purchased a lot of farmland. Fields, what is a farmland? Nothing but fields, acres and acres of fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. This so-called money system, which is fiat currency, you're beginning to find out that it's not real money. It's paper money. It's monopoly money. Crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Sabaoth meaning Lord of the armies. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, the Israelites, because the Most High is not concerned about the people in Sri Lanka, unless they're Israelites. He's concerned about his people, the Israelites, starting with the elect. And he doeth not resist you. Why? Because we have not the power to resist you. It says, 7th verse, be patient therefore, if it tarry, wait for it, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. And let me just say this here. You IUIC guys going to these churches thinking that you're going to wake them up. You're not going to wake them up. Their conscience is seared with a hot iron. And Geno Jennings Church is filled with old Negroes, old Black women, old tired Negroes, old tired Black men, and old tired Black women. So he's not going to sit down and have a meeting with you or a debate, because he know he will get his ass handed to him. Be patient thereof. If it tarry, wait for it. For it shall not tarry, it shall surely come. Be patient, therefore, brethren. Brethren meaning the elect, unto the coming of Yahweh. The church is not talking about the coming. None of these Black churches are speaking about the destruction. They're not, when they set up these charagma stations, they're gonna push you to take it. They don't deal with prophecies. The so-called Black church does not deal with prophecies, man. You got to be mentally fucking retarded to go to a church. I mean, that's low intelligence in those Black churches. Now, these so-called white churches, they go into prophecies. You know? It said, behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he received the early and latter rain. Okay, so you have two feast of weeks, or for lack of a better way of saying it. You got the, after the Passover, and then you got the end of summer. So you got two harvests. The ingathering, that comes going into August, into spring. That's what the whole tabernacle, Feast of Tabernacle was all about. That was a part of it, the ingathering. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. It's established, right? So all you one Westers, you supposed to be out there raising bloody hell with them scriptures. I give IUIC credit because they're out there grinding, but they're Genesis 9, as an old lion who shall rouse them up. Matter of fact, let me get that. I must be allowed to read that. Let me see here. Genesis 49. Barashit 49. Go right to the point. $49.9. Judah is a lion's whelp. I believe that means a young lion. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stoopeth down, he crouches as a lion, and as a old lion, who shall rouse him up? So you're rousing up the wrong people when you're trying to rouse up them people in the church, because what are they? They're old lions. You know, Geno Jennings has a lot of bark, a bark with no bite. Judah is a lion's whelp. Let me look up whelp. And I believe it means young lion. Gawar, cub, whelp, young, as in young lion. Oh, this is beautiful, right? Yeah, this is beautiful. So-called as still sojourning under the care of its mother. Now, what should come to mind? You got to suck the breast, their King Solomon said, "Oh, that thou, my brother, that sucked the breath of my mother." So when you have a young lion, a whelp, that lion's still feeding off its mother. It's not ready to go out and fight. They got to be fully nourished and weaned, just like we got to be weaned. So here you are going to a church, Gino JJJ's church, Pastor JJJ, Apostle JJJ, Gino Jenkins Jennings, and you trying to wake them people up. Them are all old lions up in there, man. You got to rouse up the young lions. Said it right here, Deuteronomy 33 and 22, where a whelp still sucking its mother's tates, which is tits, is to be understood, i.e., a young lion which is weaned and began to seek prey for itself. So you got to be weaned. You got to be weaned. So let's come back. Judah is a lion's whelp. He's still a baby. He's sucking on. At this point, Jake should have been suck up all the milk. The years that we've been out here, the 15 years that we've been on YouTube, there should be camps all over the place, man. There's a reason why Claudius Caesar kicked out the Jews and the Christians out of Rome. It wasn't just the Jews, it was the Christians. Why? Because they were raising hell. And I'm gonna prove that. I'm gonna prove that. Let me do this here. Bear me for a minute. To do it this way. Why did Claudius Caesar ban the Jews from Rome?
According to Wikipedia, Suetonius, a brief statement in Divus Claudius 25 mentions agitations by the Jews, which led Claudius, Roman emperor from AD 41 to 54, to expel them from Rome. Since the Jews constantly made disturbances at the instigation of Chrestus, he, the Emperor Claudius, expelled them from Rome.
Did you hear that? That was beautiful. That was beautiful. There were so many camps out there. You know, camps is not a new thing. We talking about going back 2,000 years. And what do they say? Chrestos, right? This is Suetonius. Suetonius, I'm gonna look him up. He was a historian of that day, and he was actually back there. He was an eyewitness to them events. So this is why in Acts chapter 18, start from the first couple of verses, it said that they were kicked out of Rome. Not just the Jews, but the Christians. It was the Jews that, you know, followed the Messiah. And Chrestos is the name of Christ, the Messiah. It says, Suetonius, a brief statement in Divus Claudius 25 mentions agitations. What does the word agitation mean? Look that up. By the Jews. And this is what the IUIC is doing. We're going to them churches, they agitating. They're agitating. But you got to go to the young, man. Them are old people, which led Claudius, Roman emperor from AD 41 to AD 54, to expel them from Rome, since the Jews constantly made disturbances at the instigation of Chrestos. Who's Chrestos? Our Lord. Now let me make sure now. It might be a guy named Chrestos. Let's make sure. Chrestos. Chrestos. Let me go to meaning. Okay, what did Suetonius say about Christianity? in the passage, Suetonius describes Christianity. What did they say? The Jews. He kicked out the Jews. What Jews? What Jews? The ones that followed the Messiah. They were called Christians first in Antioch. As excessive, religiously super stituato, forgive me, as do his contemporaries Tacitus and Pliny. Historians debated whether or not the Roman government distinguished between Christians and Jews, because the Christians are the Jews. You had Jews that did not believe in the Messiah. You had other Jews that believed in the Messiah. A lot of those high priests and those scribes, they were followers of Yahushua, especially after he went up into the heavens. That's in Acts chapter 7, and I might read that. And Jews prior to Nerva's modification. Now Nerva was a Jake. He came in after the younger brother of Vespasian, which was Domitian of the Fiscos Judaica in 8096. Right, that's where he was living. And at that time, John, the apostle, was on the Isle of Patmos, and he was sent into the Isle of Patmos by Domitian, the younger brother of Titus. So there was, man, that was a big influence back there 2,000 years ago. That's why I said in Matthew 25, and they slumbered and slept. Most High had to put them all to sleep. We had to go into slavery, go into the dark ages. We still knew that we were Israelites, but we were concentrated mainly up in Europe, mainly in Spain. And they had to take us down. That 1,000 years of Esau being shackled up. This is beautiful, man. This is beautiful. Now let me go here. So you former One Westers, man, that are still alive, you were supposed to have been out there, man. But guess what? What did you do? You turned your back on the plow. You turned your back. You took winters off. You took 10-year hiatuses. You went back into the world. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to get every one of you niggas too. Okay, we out here raising hell. Hey, I might get on IUIC, but guess what? I admire them too. I still admire them for what they do. ISUPK. You got to admire them. We have our differences. Oh, Sakari raising all kind of hell, but them guys are young men. They supposed to be raising hell. They supposed to be raising more hell than myself, because they're younger. Them guys, all them young guys is spitting fire out their mouth. That was me 30 years ago, 30 some odd years ago. You know? Anyway, I had a couple more precepts. I'm not gonna, but you see how much information we got from Genesis 49:9. That's from one verse. It led me to the fact that Claudius had to kick him out. So we read in the secular history, the reason why they got kicked out, because of the Christians, meaning the Jews. When it said Jews, it was talking about Jews that followed Yahushua. Let me go to Acts. I try not to make these videos, epistles too long, but you know how the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua gets down. He put the spirit on you. Let me see something. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, this is a beautiful chapter right here. I mean, you don't have a topic, just break down Acts chapter 7. You can do that in parts, 2 parts. I'm just trying to find, if I knew the word, and I would find it. Let me try it this way. Let's see what happens. That's not it. That's not it. Gotta keep searching. If I knew the word, and I was going through it the other day. Bear with me for a minute. Let me try this. Boy, I hate this. If I knew the word and I can bring it up, but I went through it, I'm almost positive. Let me try one more, then I'll just give it up. I can't find it. Please forgive me. Let me go to Acts. I can't get, if I had the wording in my head, I'll find it quickly. This is Acts 18. Paul at Corinth. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius, he ruled around 45 AD to about 54 AD, had commanded all Jews, what Jews? Well, all Jews, but mainly the Jews that believed in Yahushua, to depart from Rome, and came unto them. Now, why did they do it? Because Claudius banished them from Rome because they were raised in hell. They had all those camps out there. Every time somebody go down the corner, they're getting cursed out. And you got to understand, the mind frame that they were in was that the Lord was going to come in their lifetime. That's why they were so diligent and going out there teaching that word. Like I said, you guys that are notorious for taking time off, doing disappearing acts, you are not men of the Most High. You do not possess diligence. Give diligence to make that calling and election sure. The Apostle Paul said, how did he say it? That ye all have the same diligence. And a lot of you guys are not doing it, man. A lot of you guys are not on fire. So look for the retaliation. Look for the retaliation of the middle class, because they know who the enemy is. They know what's going on. Their eyes are open. Pursuant to James 5. They know that they've been, that they were defrauded. And one more precept. Okay, bring it down. '16 verse, I'll go right to the point. Egypt represents America, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings, the governors, the presidents, nor princes or the rulers, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So that's one example right there. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.